All right, we can go ahead and get started, and if anyone else joins during this, they can catch up and ask questions as well. Welcome to Winterline's info session for tonight. My name is Ben Wellborn. I'm currently in rainy, disgusting New York, but hopefully that'll change soon. We do want this to be as interactive as possible, so if you'd like to type in the chat box just where you're coming from, we'd love to hear from you. Part of my job is actually visiting families who are interested in Winterline too. So I do travel a fair amount, and if we find out where you guys are, I'd love to come by and grab a cup of coffee and talk gap years and semesters and summer and everything. We do also have Cara Ferragamo Murray on the chat box, so as we go, if anything pops in your head, feel free to reach out and she can answer as we go too. So my role at Winterline is the Director of Outreach and Recruitment. I do meet with families. I also give presentations all over the place about gap years, my own gap year experience, and I also do partnerships and a lot of other things for Winterline. We got people from Philadelphia, New York. This is great, all over the place. So before we talk too much about Winterline, a little background on myself. I took my own gap year before Winterline existed, and what really attracted me to Winterline was that it took everything that I learned during my gap year, the mistakes and everything that happened during mine, and really does fix everything that I found in my own gap year. A gap year typically is time taken after high school, before, during, or after college, to really examine what you want to do, what you're good at, where your areas of improvement are, and just to really pursue interests before diving into either college or a career. Winterline was really founded around the idea that our school systems are lacking in a wide variety of ways, everything from financial literacy to real tangible skills, or even just context for what you're learning. The one that always pops into my head is in biology class in high school, where I was learning about how many muscles were in an inchworm, but I really didn't even know why we were doing that. So Winterline's programs are centered around skill building and also just really where you fit in and where different topics fit in the grand scheme of the world too. So we started out with our 9-month global skills program. It's our big marquee gap year program that travels to 10 different countries, and you learn 100 different skills. And it really is a progression. So it starts out around more physical skills, getting your feet under you and more comfortable and confident as you go. So everything from getting certified in wilderness first aid to basic mechanics to scuba certifications, just physically getting you competent and able to explore the world. And the second trimester dives a little bit deeper into interpersonal skills, and that takes place in Southeast Asia. So it's everything from culinary skills, because knowing how to cook for other people is a huge part of the human experience, and also hospitality and international etiquette, how you should really portray yourself in different parts of the world and what is accepted and polite and really conscious. And then from there, it's really a synthesis and really examining where you want to take this for the rest of your life and beyond, whether it's high school or college or careers or anything else. So over the first 2 trimesters, you're really getting a chance to try a lot of different things and gain a lot of different skills. And as you're going, you're kind of checking things off too and saying, well, I thought I was interested in medical profession, for example, but it's really not what I had in mind. And so you're checking things off and narrowing your scope to something you really do care about. And that 3rd trimester gives you a chance to dive deeper in with a independent study. And we can talk more about that. But Our first full gap year global skills program was a huge success, and due to demand, we did create a shorter semester version of that. It's a 3-month or 12-week program, and it still is great for anyone who is either a generalist and wants to try a lot of different things, or doesn't really know what they want to study, and really gives you a chance to examine all those things with less of a time commitment. We do also have summer programs as well. So aside from those really broad global skills programs, we do have little more focused programs as well, around business and healthcare and sustainable energy and the engineering behind that, filmmaking, culinary arts, all sorts of things. Just a reminder, if you do have any questions as we're going along, Cara is on that chat box, so feel free to ask anything as we go. Here's a quick little testimonial from one of our alumni, Molly. She says, "Every day is extraordinary. Every day I'm doing something I've never done before, and that's how I hope to live the rest of my life." And that is a great example of the type of student that we look for, and also just the result of our programs too. So that, I mean, that can go in a lot of different ways. Trying things that you've never done before. There is a lot that goes into that. So all of our programs, again, that 9-month program, you learn 100 different skills. And these photos are some good examples. So you learn film skills, scuba, when you do get a variety of different certifications. That top one in the middle left is butler school. So you learn how to be a butler and everything that goes into that, again, on etiquette. And we do, the top left is fair sew. So you actually source fabrics and design your own garments and put them together as well. Obviously mechanics and cooking and other really diverse skills as well. So how do we do it? No one person or organization is the leading expert in everything that exists in the world. So we partner with the people who are. And again, it's a very broad array. And in a lot of cases, these organizations are not in existence solely to teach. They are doing it in business or in a nonprofit way, socially minded or specific skills. And Winterline works with them specifically because of that, and they have agreed to work with each of our students and really share their secret sauce on how they accomplish what they do. So this is just a small example of some of the partners that we do work with. Another quick testimonial for those of you on the phone. I'll read it to you. This is our student Cole in New York. He says, "I'm going to be the best husband possible. I can do Thai massage, make beds, know how to be a butler, sew a button on an ironed shirt." So these are some of the skills that he took away from our program. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be career-focused stuff. There's a lot of softer skills too. Everything from just knowing how to look someone in the eye when you're talking with them. That goes a very long way in life and in a career. Good to see these questions firing away. So for some of you on the call, you may be looking for something really not too far out in the distant future. If you are considering programming or a gap semester for this coming winter and spring, we do have our International Business and Entrepreneurship program, which I'm super excited about. It really covers all sides of business, and you don't even, I mean, you may have a very clear sense of a type of business that you want to get involved in. You might be very intrigued by the idea of business, or you might want to take some principles from business and apply it to your own goals. And it really does work with all types of students. So this program starts January 15th, which is obviously coming up, and it goes to April 5th. So it's our full semester. And this program travels to Boston, Singapore, Mumbai, Phnom Penh in Cambodia, and Austin, Texas. And it starts out with a startup boot camp. So you're learning the principles of business, everything from finance to marketing to sales, really everything, and what goes into starting a new business too. So for this, you're going to come away knowing how to write your own business plan. In the beginning of the program, actually, you get paired up one-on-one with a mentor who is either a proven entrepreneur or a business person or investing, pretty wide array. But this person is going to really be a mentor for you long-term and be a great place to bounce ideas around or get advice from. And you can talk with them about where they're coming from, and any advice moving forward too. The Austin, Texas part is actually really interesting because that is towards the end of the program when you do have some ideas that you can shop around, and you're going to be going to the South by Southwest Festival and Innovation Conference, and that's an awesome opportunity to meet business leaders from all over the world, and yeah, shop your ideas around, really network and build up a good base for either going into college or really launching your career too. The deadline to start your application is December 1st, which is obviously coming up, but that first part of the application on our website, which is winterline.com, is really the basics. It's your name and contact info and stuff like that. So just to get your foot in the door takes about 5 minutes. As far as, we do have some questions coming in here too. The admissions process for Winterline programs in general, it's pretty straightforward. The application is just on our website. So if you go to winterline.com, it's up at the top, and it's all digital for the form. It's there are some short essays that are pretty straightforward, and you can talk with our admissions team along the way if you do have any concerns or questions about the process. But yeah, the form is pretty straightforward. And then from there, you are going to submit a recommendation. So it can be a guidance counselor, a teacher, anyone who has seen you outside of your own home. And a lot of people wonder, what type of student we're looking for. We do recognize that a lot of people who benefit from our programs and who benefit our programs are from a wide variety of backgrounds. So we do have students who are, 4.0 GPA from the very beginning and are getting into Ivy League schools. We also have students who learn better out in the world, and that's why they want to do Winterline. So when we do consider applicants, it's on a basis of character and experiences, and grades are really not the only thing that we do look at. So again, if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out. There's a question about program restrictions for people who already own businesses. That's a really interesting question. No, this could be an awesome opportunity for you to really take your business to the next level too, as far as networking and just gaining information. Other restrictions, we do require that students are 18 and up by the time the program is going. Let's see if there are any other questions coming through. But no, I think if you already own a business, then the International Business and Entrepreneurship program would be fantastic. And you would really have a lot to contribute to it as well. And then, so back to the application process, we do also schedule interviews with applicants, and obviously people are coming from all over the world. In fact, about 1/3 of our students are from outside of the United States, which really does add a lot to the program. The interview, because everyone's coming from all over the place, in many cases we'll do it over Skype or some sort of online video, and it usually takes about a half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's, again, more conversational, so don't feel like you need to study up for it, because we just want to get to know you and see, again, if the program would be a good fit for you and if you would be a good fit for the program. We had questions about passports. Yes, as Cara states, we do have a requirement that you do have a passport. Again, we do have a lot of students from all over the world, which means different visa requirements too. So if you have any questions about that, we're definitely here to help you with that process. And again, my job is outreach and recruitment of awesome students. So my email is at the bottom of your screen there. It's ben@winterline.com, not too complicated. And feel free to give me a call or email me anytime. I love talking about this stuff. These are all of our different forms of media as well. So winterline.com, you can find a lot of different content on our programs. There's a blog there as well with a lot of really good, just general thought leadership about the field of experiential education. There's stuff about each of our individual programs. Same goes for our Facebook and our Instagram. I mean, our programs are a perfect fit for Instagram too, just because we go to pretty spectacular places. Across all of our programs, we go to 20 different countries, and they are very diverse. So the photos that come through that are pretty amazing. We did have a question about scholarships. We offer need, merit, and work study scholarships. The work study ones we offer are one for photography. So if you are a proven really good photographer, we ask you to submit a portfolio. And then if you are shooting while you're on the program and sharing your photos, then that goes towards a scholarship. The process, feel free to reach out if you're interested. We can go through more of the details. We also have a journalism scholarship. So if you're a really strong writer, you, again, submit some writing samples. And then if you're writing while you're on the program and sharing what you're writing through blogging and just providing information, then that's another scholarship. So there are a lot of ways to lower that tuition cost. And specifically for the business program, because it is coming up soon, we actually do have some scholarships available currently for that program. But again, time is of the essence for that. So, so I did just kind of fly through a lot of information. I know it's evening for a lot of people on this call, so if anyone has any really in-depth questions that they want to ask, let me type in to everyone my phone number, which should have been on the screen. And my email, again, is at the bottom there. For the business program, the question is, how much time do I have to apply? What's the date today? So it's the 29th. We, again, need that first part of your application submitted by December 1st, so this week. But again, the first part is your name, contact information, really the basics. And you can return to your application afterward to finish it, but we do need that first part in this week, and it really should take just a couple of minutes to do so. It's just on winterline.com again. Great question. What types of things do your students do after they complete the program? That's a great question, and it definitely varies by program. And again, there really isn't a pattern for who our students are. It's pretty diverse. So we do have students who go right into college. I can tell you that statistically speaking, students who take gap years like this do much better in college, and they graduate faster, and it really is a boost to academics. And a big part of that is the ownership that our program really provides to our students to take over as the program progresses. So whether it's your independent study that sort of begins to introduce you back into academics, that can be really powerful just because it requires you to submit your own proposal for your independent study. So it gets you presenting your own budget. So you need to know personal finance. It is your own safety and risk management plan. So this is really the beginning of taking ownership over what your education is going to look like. So that's academically. As far as businesses, Tiberius, we do have students who have created their own products and businesses. We have students who didn't get into the school they wanted to get into, and then once on Winterline, they reapplied and got in. Which is, I mean, that says a lot. We Yeah, I mean, I could talk all day, but there's another question we have. Do you have examples of past independent studies? And yes, we have had, let's see, we've had a student who was really interested in dance, but her background, she was Latin American and was really experienced in salsa and merengue and bachata, but learned pretty informally, and it was a really passionate process for her. So she went and learned ballet, and it was a totally different experience for her. So she dove into ballet and the formal training behind that. We've had students investigate refugee resettlement in Europe, and that was complete with interviews. We had one student who was really interested in race car driving, and then found a connection or correlation to Buddhism. And so his whole independent study was on why many of the elite race car drivers in the world are connected to Buddhism, and how it centers and focuses their driving. We've had acrobatics studies, really wide variety. So as you're going through your program, you get to really brainstorm, okay, what am I interested in? And a gap year is a really great relatively risk-free place to try things. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm really not good at this, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It in a way says you should definitely do it. Because again, as far as grading from a university, that's not coming into play. So it really is a great chance to try stuff that you've been a little more wary of. So, or if you do have a very clear sense of where you want to go, it's a great jumping off point too. Great question, Lester. All right, another question here. A corporate network that acquires and restructures businesses typically to assist their development. Have we heard of citizenship laws that challenge this practice? Tiberius, that's a pretty specific question. If you don't mind, I'd love to reach out to you after to talk more about that. Thank you. Any other questions here? Give it a couple more seconds in case people are typing. And again, as far as our calendar year goes, we do offer, our summer programs are throughout the summer. Our semester programs, we have a fall semester and a spring semester, and the programs vary based on the time of year, but there are a pretty wide variety. So definitely check out our website, see what's available, and do reach out if you have any questions about them too. And our 9-month program always starts in the beginning of the school year, so in September, and it runs for 9 months. So that's just a little base of, oh, we got one more question. Do many newly graduated high school students do this program? Absolutely, yeah. And that really was the beginning of the idea of a gap year, was that students were gonna take some really self-examined time after high school and before college. That's what I did, and that's what many of our students do too. But again, we do require that students are 18 and up before the program. So no jumping ship before you graduate, or if you're a sophomore or something, you still have to go to high school. A lot of presentations I give, I start by asking how many people have senioritis, and it's mostly freshmen. All right, we got some more questions coming through. Is there any school restrictions on consecutive semesters before a break is required? I can get aggressive and passionate sometimes. That's a really good question. If I'm understanding this correctly, the question is, do colleges still honor your deferral for more than a year? And that actually brings up a lot of good points. And yeah, I would say if you have an idea of where you want to go to school, definitely check with them because different schools have different policies. At this point, the vast majority of colleges not only honor a gap year, but they actually encourage it because statistically their students are going to come into college way better prepared. So there really are only a few out there that raise an eyebrow when you bring it up, but definitely check with them during your admission process to your school, see what their requirements are. And again, most schools are going to honor any financial aid or scholarships, but definitely check with them. But yeah, there are students who define their gap year in different ways, and sometimes it's a little more than a year. Glad to hear that you get aggressive and passionate, as Tiberius says. But yeah, it really varies. But again, people who do take gap years, statistically speaking, do launch right back into college and finish before most. So right now, most colleges are measuring success not as did you graduate in 4 years, but they're actually extending it to 6 years, which does not say great things about our current status in higher education, which is where gap years come in, because the vast majority of gap year students do go from college to graduating within 4 years. All right. Any other questions? These are great questions, so thank you all for contributing these. And once again, if anybody thinks of something after the fact, feel free to email or call me. And as Cara is wrapping things up, I do want to say thank you again for joining. We do hold these webinars periodically, but if you are looking to this spring, don't wait, I would say. Give us a call. Always happy to talk about this stuff. So thank you again, and everyone have a wonderful evening.